Apologies, we didn't do an episode last week. Things have been crazy hectic. Comedy's back. Or is it? It depends. It really depends on who you're talking to. What's local and state official you're talking to about it. Because lately things have been pretty crazy. We actually got a chance to host 5 shows for Nimesh Patel from New York last week, and the shows were dope. Thank you to everyone who pulled up to our Arlington Draft House show. Thank you to everyone who pulled up to the comedy special taping. We actually got the chance to film a comedy special for our friend Nimesh Patel, man. For those who don't know Nimesh, man, Nimesh Patel is a great New York comic who I've known over the past 3-4 years. We actually met, I want to say in 2016, 2017 era, where like I was doing my first show in New York. I was opening for Mazabrani, like a well-known Persian comedian at Caroline's on Broadway. At the time, I was a young DC comic trying to just do some things, and I had known Maz over the years, and I shot him an email like, "Hey man, I saw you're doing a show in New York. Is there any chance I could host?" And he's like, "Yeah, come on down." So Maz was gracious enough to have me as his host, and the feature act happened to be Nimesh Patel, and that's kind of where I first met Nimesh, and we kind of like we were in the same green room together, and we got a chance to talk. And at the time, I was maybe 3-4 years into comedy, and Nimesh was a few more years ahead of me. And after the shows, we got a chance to talk, and he would give me some like notes and pointers on like some of my material. And at the time, man, it was really cool because I think when you're starting out in comedy, you're still trying to figure things out. You're trying to figure out like, what's my voice? How do you take it to the next level? And someone like Nimesh to take the time to give me that advice when I was starting out, to this day still means a lot. And fast forward throughout the years, Nimesh and I would like cross paths, whether it's in New York or DC, at comedy clubs, and we've kept in touch, and we've done a few shows together in between. But it wasn't until this year where he like texted me and he was like, "Hey man, like how you holding up in DC?" And I was like, "Oh man, things are good, man. I'm kind of running my own little underground comedy thing in DC." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what's the vibe?" I'm like, "Well, if you're interested, come on down." He's like, "Yeah, actually, I'm trying to shoot my next special." And I was like, "Dude, pull up." And lately, like, Nimesh has been doing an amazing job, like, dropping stand-up clips. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but on YouTube, Nimesh is, like, killing it. Like, his all his stand-up clips are going viral. And I think it's over, like, it was just a matter of time before Nimesh, like, picked up steam on the internet, because a lot of his topics, they're topical, they're poignant, his writing is on point. And it's like a fresh take on comedy. So his clips are blowing up. He's like, "Yo, I want to shoot this special." So like my first reaction is like, "Yo, come on down," right? And I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, "Fuck, man, like 4 or 5 shows, like during a pandemic, like, what's that gonna be like?" You know what I mean? But every show sold out. We kept it like social distance vibes, only like 20 people, and every show
all wore masks.
Yeah, we were wearing masks. Like
yes,
Terrell,
Terrell
was here, and I got hats off to Terrell. He was a soldier, man. He came in and he did the audio for every show, and I hosted every show, and every night was dope but different. Like from Wednesday all the way through Saturday, and I'm not going to ruin it, but my favorite joke that Nimesh had is a joke about Kobe Bryant.
You love that Kobe Bryant joke.
It's fucked up. It's a dark joke.
I was gonna say, I bet it is dark.
It's so dark.
Yeah, because he's dead. So like, what other?
Pretty much.
But it's like one of those things where it's like it's in the writing. You know what I mean? You got to respect the writing. And it was one of the coolest highlights of Nimesh coming to DC was him coming to our comedy class, because Nimesh came down. And he came down on Tuesday, and I had to push back. Usually our comedy class is on Wednesday, but we moved it to Tuesday because we needed to film one night with Nimesh for his show. And I was like, "Yo, I got a class tonight. Do you want to go up?" A lot of times you ask headliners, "Do you want to go up on like an open mic?" They're like, "Nah, I'm good. Like no audience, it's just comics." Nah. But Nimesh was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I thought that was really cool because as a comedian, like to me, that's like a real comedian. Like it's for the love of the game, right? You like despite no audience, you're just gonna try out your jokes. And that meant a lot, man. I think it was cool for the comedy students in the class to see Nimesh go up and do some of the jokes he was gonna do on the special. And
Yeah.
I think that like motivated low key like a lot of the students. Like, damn, like some people didn't even know who he was. They're like, yo, this guy he's like a writer for Saturday Night Live. He's been on Seth Meyers' Late Show. Like,
Doesn't he write for like Chris Rock as well?
he wrote for Chris Rock.
That's like super cool.
Yeah, he wrote Chris Rock's like a part of like the monologue for the Oscars. And so I think there is something like, you know, inspiring for young comics to see someone doing it at a high level, but still like not have an ego and perform in front of like students in a class.
Like
And-
it was nice to see him still fumble like how we fumbling and everything, to be honest.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
and again, I always try to tell the students in the class, like, yo, like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You can't skip the process. You have to pen to paper, paper to the stage, and you gotta keep trying the material out. And overall, like, it was a great experience, man. I highly recommend checking out Nimesh's special. It was like an honor to just host him in our venue / our city, and that's something I take a lot of pride in, is like I'm like the DC plug, you know what I mean, for comedy. And I think like, yo, if you want to do some high level comedy stuff, you got to hit the plug up. And we appreciate Nimesh. Yeah, man. And can't wait to see him like blow up even more and hopefully host him at a much bigger venue next time in DC.